Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another bright and cheerful episode of Me, Myself, and Darlene.
Hello, hello.
Hello, I'm Coach Amy Gaskin. Who are you?
I'm Darlene. I'm Assistant Darlene of Me, Myself, and Darlene.
Also known as my right hand. The other
Sounds
day,
great.
we were in somewhere, and Kim said, and I am her left hand. She is her right hand. I hope to be her left hand. Oh, that would be awesome to have a right and a left hand. One day,
Left.
maybe. One day. What's up?
How's it going?
I'm good. I just got back from the camping trip,
Yes, ma'am.
putting up the boundaries, making myself chill out. It was lovely.
It was lovely. I bet. I bet it
Wish
was
I was
lovely.
still there, to
I bet.
be honest. Yeah.
You just never know when it's going to cut off. Seems like it all of a sudden is like over. Wait, what happened?
Oh,
Maybe
wait,
it's over.
what are we doing? Yeah.
We just
And
got
I never
here.
take enough pictures because I didn't want my phone like in my hand like the whole time, but then it's fine though. Like
I do
Katie,
this.
Katie stayed with me for like 24 hours kind of, and then she left and we didn't take a picture. She goes, "You're not taking a picture of me looking like this." But we did book for in a couple weeks the end of my boys' spring break. We're going to be there. What was hilarious was this trip. I was probably the youngest by 20 years at the campground, unless my boys were around. Um, so it will change the next time we go. It'll be all people our age with a bunch of kids. And there
Are
will
you
be, of
guys
course,
going with a group?
grandparents there, but say it again.
Are you doing it with a group?
No, no group. It's just a lot of people go, a lot of locals go during spring break.
Spring break.
And
Yeah,
it's really
that makes
great
sense.
because the kids just keep themselves. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Yeah. And then our friends' parents, my boys call them Mimi and Paw Paw too. They will have some of their grandkids there. And I made a post on Facebook. I was like, we're going to be camping. Who else will be there? And all these people. And she texts me, we're going to be there. I'm like, oh, great. Well, I'm just going to send them right on over to your house. And then JJ and her parents, JJ and Red and her parents will be there too.
For
So it's
fun.
going to be
That's super
lovely.
fun.
It's going to be
Yeah,
lovely. Yes. Yes. I'm
it
excited.
is.
So what you got for me today?
All right. Well, it's very interesting. Oh, I'm
You're
frozen.
frozen and you're talking, so you're gonna have to read. There you go. Bless America.
Let's try that again.
We have
Why don't
literally, y'all, we have
we?
literally been Zooming for almost an hour, and she's gonna freeze when we're recording.
Of course it is.
Sounds
Okay,
great.
so we're gonna try it again. Okay, so as we do right now, still working on our questions that were turned in for your Trimiversary.
Yeah.
I was going through to select some more questions to ask this time, and I think I may have mentioned it last time, but for sure this time, getting a variety of questions was kind of difficult, actually,
Yeah.
because so many people are asking the same thing. And it's something you're very known for. And I can see why they're coming to you because they want to know how you've stayed consistent.
Uh,
And it's been reworded like a lot of different ways, but it's the mindset. It's
yeah.
100% mindset. It's not about there were so many less questions about food or how you're eating or fueling. I mean, there was even a ton less about protein, which was kind of surprising. So
Wow.
they're all I know. They're all they're not all. Like 80% of them are all about mindset.
Wow.
Everyone wants to know, right? How do we do it? How do we keep going every day, keep going?
Yeah. Well, when we redid my Buds program for the end of year 2024. But we called it Buds 2.0, and we shook it up big time. But it's still, and I did that because the 20 something that I had done before then just still wasn't feeling right. I mean, they were wonderful. They changed lives. They helped people, apparently. But I still felt like there was something missing. And actually, the podcast that y'all are going to hear next week, I have on this same shirt, and it's kind of weird because I already recorded it, but it's going to be the next week. But we talked about this very thing. And the mindset being shifted probably not that 180 transformation that I talked about in my live events, but just a shift and a refresh is it's like that catalyst, to get you revved up and going. But whenever I was thinking about, okay, well, we did all these changes from Bud's program to Bud's 2.0. I really want to do a 6-month Bud experience. And I've done 2 of those. We're still rocking and rolling with those. But as I was planning all of that out, I knew that mindset had to be first. Before I'm like, get on plan or SEFP, protein, veggies. I got to get these people in the right mindset. And, my mental health has been something I probably haven't talked about publicly, would you say? I mean, probably in bits and pieces, but I do talk a lot about it very openly in Blooms for sure. Very comfortable there. It's a really safe, comfy place for me. But if my mindset isn't right, I can't do anything.
Right.
I can't mother, wife, daughter, friend, coach, and especially Amy. Like I can't take care of myself.
Right.
Because even, and I was sharing this that y'all are going to hear next week. Sorry about that. But, you know, like my days off, and Darlene, you know this, my days off, I freeze because there's nothing on my Google Calendar. What you probably LOL'd. Did you open my calendar while I was on my trip? And did you see what my Monday looked like?
I did.
It was ridiculous. I mean, it's not it because I know that's what I need to do. Let me find it. I'm just going to read it off to y'all. So to keep my mindset straight while I was on vacation by myself, because I camped by myself. My husband would come and my boys came after school and my daughters came. Well, Lily came too, but I had 7 a.m. breakfast, 7:45 devotion, 8 o'clock check Mighty Networks. That's where my group clients are. Um, write my Thursday email. At 9 o'clock, I had to take a walk, and then I worked from 9:15 to 10:15 or something. And then I worked on something else specific. And then I did my workout. And then I had lunch. Then I walked again. And then I started reading Trim Healthy Wisdom. And like I literally did that so that I wouldn't get sideways. Because you know what I'd I thought I messed it up. I didn't. The recording. You know what I'd have done? I'd have sat outside, listened to the birds. But I'd have been doing this. Scrolling. Because why? Why? Because it's easy. It's easy. I knew that I needed to be reading my wisdom book because golly, I'm about to start teaching on it, right? In Blooms
Right.
and in Buds and too. But like it's what we divert to. It's what we do. It's just it's the easy. There's not anything difficult. There's not a gate we have to open. There's not shoes we have to put on. We don't have to think about when we wash our hair next. We don't have to think about what we're going to eat. We don't have to think about anybody's feelings. We can just open up our phone and scroll, scroll, scroll. But all this other stuff, it's work. It's overcoming that mentality of laziness, whether you know you got it or not. Because I do. We're all very lazy. We are. That's why we want that magic pill for the weight loss. Why we want the magic pill for understanding how our husbands work. We want that, not a pill, but like a key. You know what I mean? But it's work. It's in being intentional. It's focusing.
You know yourself. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Through this mindset training that you've done for yourself, that you're living out, you know how the conditions you work best under.
Mhm.
And so if you don't have those in place, you know. And so I think that's so much of it. You're self-aware that if you don't have things in place, that you could go and spend it in ways that you really don't want to
No,
at the end
I'd
of the
be so
day.
disappointed in myself if I would just my clothes are done. I would have been so disappointed if I would have just sat on Facebook. Now I was probably on Facebook more this week, but it wasn't like it could have been. It wasn't that dopamine doom scroll thing. It was more of I want to go in here and share this beautiful picture or go see what somebody said about la la la. Anyway. So mindset is super important. And we're also using that in the 6-week buds, spring buds that's opening for registration today. Yay, the crowd was wild. So we've got two January, February buds, 6 month going. We're gonna have this short term 6 weeks to meet those needs for those people. And I went back and looked at how buds used to be 6 weeks, and I'm like, you know what? We're gonna start our mindset here because we've got to have truth statements. We've got to have those I cans in place before we start, desiring to be more and more on plan. We have to
100%.
know that we are worth that self care because it does take effort. I mean, paying me for some group is step one. That's just one little tiny piece. That's not going to get you any closer to anything, just paying for it. You actually have to go in, read the words, watch the videos, participate, do the work, implement. But that's a little hard, isn't it? So, do
But
you want
setting
to?
the time aside, right? Like you
Do
just
you
said,
want
I mean,
to?
I think that's perfect advice to be able to, if that's something that you have a hard time doing, then maybe you have to actually schedule it.
Yeah. And yeah, I love your money. I want your money. I need your money. I do. But I want you to use it. I want you to use the service you're paying for 100%. I'm not a waster of money. That is not, nope. So we are going to do our best to keep tabs on you. We are going to do our best to meet the needs that you have. But you've got to open up that app. You've got to do the work, and scheduling it is great. And I have that, in a lot of the places that maybe, what do you think, Darlene? Like 30 minutes a day, except
Yeah.
for watching the live Q&A is an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that much time. It's not. So yeah,
Mm-mm.
mindset is something great that I think is going to really you know, love on the women that join us. And I think it's going to be really great. So like what's really cool though is as soon as registration opens, everybody will have access to everything that's in there.
Mhm.
But it's more of like you're a grown woman. If you want to know more about mindset and protein, you can go to those things ahead of time, sure. But I'm not assigning anything to you yet, So just know that I'm going to assign stuff in a timely way. You don't have to do it all at once.
Right.
Uh,
You're going to be definitely giving direction on
right.
how to go through things.
That's right.
Um,
And so, all the modules and for Trim Healthy Mama and the mindset and then even exercise and meal planning, all that's going to be assigned. And I'm just really excited about that. But to me, those are wonderful and you will never lose access to any of this stuff. But the most important part of spring buds and blooms is the live Q&A because that is where Darlene can come to me with her specific need and I can help. Like it's my favorite thing in the whole world. I love it. And the beginning will be mindset because that's what people are gonna be like, I keep sabotaging myself. How can I work out of that? I keep doing this. How do you keep going? You've been doing this for 8 years. How do you keep going? And I've taught this and I will continue to teach this is resilience. Resilience is being able to overcome life's ups and downs. So even if, tomorrow something medically went awry with one of my family members, Darlene, it would never cross my mind to go off plan just because somebody had a medical emergency. But that happens so much. Like it's like, oh, well, so and so had to have surgery, so I'm just not going to be a THM eating person anymore. Like that would never cross my mind. In the beginning, would it have? Maybe. Maybe. I would say what would fall for me if I was caring for someone like that would be the exercise. That's what probably what would fall to the side. But I'd probably be able to pick it back up pretty quick. It wouldn't be a long time. You know,
yeah.
drinking enough water, talking to myself, I say this a lot. Out of all the people in the world we talk to ourselves the most. Be sure you're saying the right thing. And so that positive self-talk is another thing that we'll talk about with mindset. Because if you're constantly telling yourself you're stupid and you're not worth this extra money and you can't do anything right and all the other things we tell ourselves, no wonder you can't do anything.
You're going to be able to convince yourself to have a different food choice, you know. And I
Yeah.
think that's amazing in the sense of watching how these buds have come out as you've done them and just you coming to see it's all come together what people are want, like where the missing piece was. Like for this the Buds experience, that idea is because it's that mindset came first, was like it was just brilliant because it's like this is what's missing.
It is. That's the missing piece.
Because honestly, learning the plan is so easy compared to changing our brain and
Yeah.
what we think.
Yeah.
So it takes that, I think, for sure.
hmm And there's simple things because I know there's some of you that will never do any of my coaching. You'll never pay for it. So here's your free tip. I wish you would because I think you're being hard headed, but whatever. um, you have to change your neural pathway. So this is just an example. This is what I did. My children were acting like wild hoodlums, and I was stressed to the max. And do you know what would make me feel better? A very specific, not on plan item. And I would go have that a couple times, maybe 3. And maybe the next day, that made me feel so good, I'm going to do it again. But I'm only going to have it twice. And then I just keep going. And I have until, I can tell my tummy's starting to get a little bigger. And I'm like, oh, for the love, I got to quit doing that. So that right there happens all the time to people. And
And it doesn't change how their children are behaving.
no,
Not
it does
not even a
not.
little.
They're still gonna act like wild hoodlums. So, or hooligans, however you want to say it. But what can change is how you react to their behavior. And that can change their behavior. So if my kids are acting like crazy people, I can take a deep breath and not yell and scream at them, which would be what I would do. And I take a deep breath and I walk outside. Like right now, I'm looking out my beautiful bedroom window. I love looking out. The window is very dirty. We need to clean it. Not gonna lie, guys. Not perfect over here, Gaskin Land, but it's gorgeous out there. The sun's shining. There's a blue sky. There's a bunch of trees. And I could go outside and take a really good deep breath. Big thought here. Big idea, guys. Ask God to help me get my act together. Help me, God. Help me deal with these children you so lovingly blessed me with. That right there is changing your neural pathway. Going from off plan choices to walking outside and taking a deep breath. That costs you $0. And it also teaches your children a healthy way of dealing with stress. Am
And
I
that's where it
amazing at
changes the
that every
generation.
single time? No,
Mhm.
but I'm working on it. And that is my free tip for everybody today. Whatever it is that you're going through that's making you stressed out and making you sabotage your hard work, whatever that is, you've got to stop it. Because when you're about to shove whatever it is in your mouth, it's not right. Half of y'all are probably hearing me say, that is not permissible or beneficial. Stop. Or whatever. Or just say no to drugs. I say that too. Because whatever it is that's making you sabotage or go against your convictions about what your body needs to be healthy, that's your drug. We talk about that a lot of time in the small in-person things I do, small group things. What is your drug of choice or whatever? And you're about to do it. You can, if it's about to go in your mouth, you can take that out and throw it in the trash. Oh my gosh. Darlene, you could even spit it out. You could even, as you're opening it, say, nope, 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 nope. You don't have to go, you don't have to follow through with that, right? And you could still walk outside the door or whatever it is that you need to do. You can. Years ago, I think this was before you, my theme was actually I can. Actually, you can do that. Because if something, oh my gosh, Darlene, if I knew there was something in your life that was hurting you, I would want to help you get away from that thing that was hurting you. And for so many, it's something in a little package.
Yep. 100%.
And
100%.
it breaks my heart. So if I can help you break through that, it would be my joy. Because I have done that for me. And I know it can be done. I'm a hot mess 43-year-old woman. And if anybody knows how much of a hot mess I am, it's this other little lady here in this podcast. Oh my gosh, but it's so true. But nobody
Just
taught us this. Like, I don't know why this was missed.
yeah.
I don't know. It's a really tough thing to talk about. Like, I
And
don't
that's how the groups I think are so great too, because that we're doing life together
yeah.
and making life choices and decisions that we all have to do. And we're doing it still together, even though our stories are all different. But we have that one common thing where we know this is what's going to help us do those things,
Mhm.
physically being able to take care of ourselves. And that's so, I don't know if any one of us is necessarily more of a hot mess than anybody else. It comes in waves.
Look, it doesn't need to be a competition because that is not something I want to win.
Yeah,
I
right?
don't. I don't want to win that. And so, going on a little tangent is like the hormonal side of it. You know, I'm on the Kiora hormone replacement therapy, and I've been on a lot of those because at 29 they took my ovaries, my cervix, my uterus, my tubes, all gone. And I've had I'm 43, it's a long time, right? And I've tried a lot of different things, but I have never felt more stable than I do now. I've never felt more in control of myself than I do now. I've never felt more aware of where my emotions are going. Because, I got a little sideways a couple weeks ago, hence the boundaries that came into play with my camping trip that I went by myself and other people were allowed to come in from time to time. But, I know everybody doesn't have the luxury of being able to do that, and I get that, but you can go to the bathroom and shut the door. Some of you are not at the time with your children that you can necessarily do that because I know they follow you in, but many of us can. And that can be where you take your breath from just eating off plan just because you think you've had a bad day. Really assess. I like to ask this question, especially to one-on-ones. Was it a bad day or was it a bad 10 minutes? And did it get worse because of your reaction to a situation that normally wouldn't have bothered you at all? That kind of gave me the goosebumps.
Yeah.
I've been guilty of that.
Oh, me too. Me too.
You're like, dude, that was not that big
And
a
then
deal.
I know. And then you look back and you're like, wow, that day was exhausting. And it's like, but it was only from one thing that really didn't have to carry through the entire day at all.
What
And you
I've learned is
just
when I can
takes
put
you
all
out.
that stuff in its place, that abundant life in Christ, is it John something other that John 10 something maybe? That's probably wrong. Y'all don't send me a letter. It's in the Bible talking about the abundant life in Christ right now. I don't remember. But that's what I want. I don't want I will apologize. I don't want to have to apologize. I want to be good
Yeah.
as much as I can be. But I can't do that without him. So that's the other key to having that mindset is we have to bring him in. And a lot of people look at me like this, like, what? Um, he wants to be in on your health journey. He gave you that body you're in. Don't you think he wants it to be healthy? That statement right there I know has blown some minds. It's just not things we think about, you know. And I'll stand on that. I'll die on that hill. That's something I believe in.
And it's true. It's very true. And I think that's why it can be so shocking to some
Mhm.
people because they haven't thought of it that way.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Because they know it in their walk. They know, like, they're like, yeah, of course. But then it's like, oh, wait, what? What did you just say?
Right. So, main takeaways just from this part, and then I guess you got some questions for me, is, mindset is key, but so is bringing in the Lord to help you because we can't do this by ourselves. We're literally not strong enough to say no to all the things that aren't healthy. We just aren't. And that's okay. We don't have to be strong all the time. And that's something I have trouble with. I'm a very strong personality. I'm a go-getter. I'm a overachiever. But knowing that he has me, and even in my family, my husband has me, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good for me to rest in. And I don't have to fight it. I can rest in it. And as your coach, I can help fight for you too. So I hope that was helpful.
I think so. And I think, like you said before, tying that back into buds, like that's why it's important for women who are coming into this new and fresh that that mindset is assessed first. Like that
Yeah.
that's
And look, if you've done buds before or whatever, do it again. If it's in your budget, there ain't nothing wrong with people. Can I do buds again? Yeah. Do you need it? Come on. You
yeah,
know, I've had some that done it several times. I don't always say the exact same thing in the lives because it's always different women. So other different things come up. The menus are always fresh and there's a whole, updated education too. So, um, yeah,
yeah.
I'm excited. It's going to be great.
I think it's gonna be great.
Hmm.
I do. I
Yeah.
think it's what people are looking for to help them. A tool. So like you said, when you're feeling overwhelmed or can't find yourself in it, you go, you go to God and your family hopefully is supportive, but then you have these tools also that you can, like physical tools that you've
Right.
learned
Right.
that you don't have to try to think like recreate the wheel. Like they're there waiting for you. So to help you, it's gonna be
Amen.
yes.
Amen, Sister Darlene.
Oh, I don't know when we started recording, so we're gonna,
Oh
but
gosh, I don't either.
so we'll do a couple. We'll do a couple
That
here.
sounds great.
And it's interesting because like we were just talking about mindset and then what you just went and did to help kind of take a breath. And one of the questions was, how do you balance helping all of your clients and being able to disengage?
Mm.
Yep. And
Wow,
then
somebody asked that?
they did. And I respect what you can do and what you cannot, and cannot imagine the demands of your job. But they did. It was, so you just explained it. I mean, that was perfect because that's what you had to do this week is being able to figure out how, and it couldn't be at home, right? It
No,
couldn't be, you had to find, and maybe you can't like go camping or go, but it has to be something, I think, like you said, that's outside the box. Like,
just step
you can,
outside.
yeah, because you would have done so many other different things. Like
Yeah.
if you were still home, it
Oh
would
yeah.
not have been a rest. It would not have been
I forced
that.
myself to not go live on Facebook. There were multiple times when I was like, I could go live. And I had to tell myself, no, this is a time of rest. I did. So I have a free Marco Polo sharecast called the Southern Scoop that anyone can join. And then I have a sharecast for my Blooms clients. I talked to them a little bit, but there was never like a live in the kitchen or anything like that, or even a live. This is what I'm going. Like I wanted to so bad, but to go back and I would love to hear your thoughts on this because you see what I do, and sometimes I don't see everything I do. But like at the end of the day, I typically put my phone away at 7, 8 o'clock. Sometimes I'll check back in if I know she and I have something we need to deal with. But she also has Wes Gaskin's phone number, so if she really needs me, she can get me. But I do put my phone away. And then just a couple months ago, we instituted that Southern and Healthy is closed on Saturday and Sunday. We should have done that a long time ago. But that's another way that I can disengage. I also do not have any of my coaching apps on my phone anymore. And that's been very helpful, very helpful. I love my clients, I love my job, but I have got to have space um, that will keep me being a really good coach. Yeah.
100%. That is 100% true. And being able to, like you said, with the Facebook and like the doom scrolling, what would happen is because you don't want to tell somebody no. You don't
Mhm.
want to think, oh, well, they messaged me or they're talking about this and you have an answer, right? And so it just doesn't stop because
No,
you
it
want,
would never stop. And I want
yeah,
them to post
yes,
whenever, because
right.
there's a lot that work full time, maybe in Blooms or one of my buds. And the only time that they can post or ask questions is on Saturday.
Yep,
But they all know that I will answer them by noon on Monday, and they are all okay with it. Like when
right,
we announced it, I saw their faces. They were like, right on, yes, you know.
right.
And it's great. And so
And
I
it works, I
it
think,
means the world to me.
and I think it helps the clients too, because I think clients didn't okay, well, I'm not going to message her right now because it's, maybe it's 10 o'clock at night, but all of a sudden something came in their brain and they thought of it. Well,
Mhm.
now it's okay. They can do it while it's fresh. They can talk to you about it in the
Yeah,
message.
I tell my one-on-ones, you
And
can
then,
message me 24/7. I'll answer you as soon
yeah,
as possible. And they're like, oh, okay.
yeah. So that pressure, I think, is worked taken from everybody. Like there's just not that pressure.
Right.
But it's still super convenient to be able to do that. So
Mhm.
I think it was great. I think it was great.
Thanks. I'm learning. Life's a dance. We learn as we go. It's a great old country song.
It
There's
is.
going to be some
It
people
is.
that are dying dead that I quoted a country song.
Oh, that's so funny. Let's do, they had one which is so funny, but I'm like, they asked it, so they must have not heard. What has been your favorite Trim Healthy Mama beverage?
Oh, like
That's
compliant or
all
recipe?
that's all it said.
Okay. Well, we'll go in categories.
Okay, so let's, I guess, compliant. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. So coffee came first as the Trimacino, but now it's just I don't even know. Like I don't even make the trimmy anymore. Like they're, oh my gosh, you don't make a trimmy? I'm like, no, where have you been? I haven't made a trimmy in 4 years. So my coffee is coffee, and then whatever protein, if I want to put protein in it, I do all of them. I don't want to go through all that. Do I have to? Okay.
No. Mm-mm.
And then I sweeten it. Now I do a quarter teaspoon of super sweet and then silk half and half. That's how I make my coffee. Sometimes clients will bless me with nut pods. I just haven't been buying it because I love the silk half and half. But I do. My favorite nut pods is cookie butter, and it's sweetened on plan, which means I don't have to use the sweet super sweets. That's sweet. I love sparkling waters. There's only one out of all the ones I've ever had that was absolutely disgusting, but I can't remember the name of it. It had raspberry in it. I think it was a LaCroix. I've loved all the rest of them. I like all the Zevias. They all bless my heart. I
What would
love
you say as far as like a, oh, go ahead. You said a buy. So you
bye.
just said, yeah. So like if you had to,
Darlene, you keep freezing. What the world?
I don't know. I don't know what happens. A breeze, maybe outside. Um, okay, so let's take it to like maybe a mixed one that's Trim Healthy Mama. So
Oh, bird of
I don't,
paradise from Healthy
yeah,
Future.
yep. That's why I was giggling with it because I was like, she's gonna pop these off so fast.
Yep. And then I also love cranberry wassail. I was actually thinking about making some today. Um, and then the Amy Rita, which there were some two very nice people that said that's actually called a ranch water. I'm like, actually, it's not. Okay. Ranch water is also canned and mass produced, and it has sweetener in it that's not on plan for us, madam. And why can't I just have a fun name for my drink? Leave me alone. Amy Rita. Any sparkling water that toots your horn. Topo Chico is of the utmost deliciousness. Then you could do some true lime crystallized packet of the lime. I actually do like that. Haven't done that in a long time, but I like it. Or you could squirt some lime juice. Or if you're fancy, you could have a real life lime. That's fine too. So many options, Darlene. I don't sweeten mine, but you can with whatever the heck toots your horn. And then a shot of tequila. You're welcome. Love that. Also
So
love red
good.
wine. I don't care at this point. Just great. It's all great to me. I'm not that picky. I'm not picky at all.
And see, I think that's what comes with the mindset shift and the time that
It
you put
all
into
makes me happy.
it.
It doesn't have to be this perfect. I don't know. I'm just not that kind of person.
And I think I'm not either, actually, I'm not either. And so, but I think that for people who will say that, are trying to adjust over to the new drinks and the different drinks is just to try different ones
Mhm.
because you'll find in time. Time will. Like the beginning of Trim Healthy, I didn't, sparkling water was not, I was like, no, no, no. It was hard for me.
Well, Wes's mom, excuse me. Wes's mom is still addicted to the Diet Coke. Okay. We didn't have drinks. We call them Cokes. Everything is a Coke. What kind of Coke do you want? That could be Diet Coke, Coke, Sprite, Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew, 7 Up. What kind of Coke do you want? And I know that Pepsi, Mountain Dew, and 7 Up are not Coke products. I know that. Y'all wonder why I get feisty? It's because your friend is a keyboard warrior and annoys the heck out of me. Okay, anyway. So we didn't have drinks like that in my home growing up. Okay. And so when I started dating Wes, she was like, "You can have a Diet Coke if you want it." Well, I loved the Diet Coke. It was very, in the back of your throat. It was cool because she was drinking them and I thought that was cool. And I always thought she was cool and, whatever. And so every now and then Wes and I didn't buy them either because we were broke as we could be. But like going out to eat, I would get a Diet Coke or a Dr. Pepper. Loved. So like all of that, like people that are coming off of those like hardcore, I was not, but it's a big deal. And if they were like, one of our buds was talking about addicted to, I don't remember, was it Dr. Pepper or Dr. Pepper Zero or something?
So,
Anyway,
mhm.
and somebody recommended Dr. Zevia. Well, let me just say, Dr. Zevia, coming from somebody that's addicted to Dr. Pepper, it ain't the same. They're going to want to punch you in the face. It's not the same. So my recommendation for something like that, I was like, is this even on topic? It is. I was trying to remember what your
Yep.
initial question was. Sorry, I squirrel a little bit, but this is great. It's great stuff.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Gold. Anyway, that GGMS, the Good Girl Moonshine, because it
Mm.
still has that thing, that tickle in the back of your throat. I made one yesterday, actually. And it's super helpful for detox, for digestion, for your immune system, for balancing your blood sugar. So, like for me, I knew all that. And so doing those extra healthy things made it even more exciting to drink. That's just where I am. And over time, you'll be able to drink Dr. Zevia and be super thrilled because I love a Dr. Zevia with my pizza skillet or pesto pizza or pizza toppings. I just love to pair it with that.
And it's true, like and I think when you take the Good Girl Moonshine and do it with a sparkling water,
Yes.
because
Level
it
up.
does all of that, gives you that sensation that you're drinking something
And
else.
those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, you just go drink you one today and you'd be like, oh, that's what they meant.
Yeah. Because you can find that anywhere. That's all over the internets.
Anywhere.
Yep.
Yep.
What do you think? I think we're
I
good
think we're
on
good.
time. I
I
think
think
we're
we're good.
good.
Yeah, I'm
You
tired.
gave some good tips in there though with
Thanks.
that.
I'm
Yeah,
full of tips.
you are. Lots
That's
of
what I do.
freebies out there. Yeah. So we'll see everybody Monday morning,
Yeah.
9 a.m.
Yep.
Yep.
Be ready to rock and roll. I can't wait to see
Mhm.
who joins Spring Buds. It's going to be great.
Yeah. It's gonna be super exciting.
Y'all are going to be best friends. It's so fun to see relationships that happen in those groups. It's
Mm.
precious. It is. All right. Bye, Darlene.
Have a good one.
Bye,
Bye,
y'all.
everybody.
Listening. I hope this blessed your bones.